It's day one of the Gauteng Provincial ANC Conference, and like the other conferences, fireworks and more fireworks are expected. So who is going up against who? Deputy Provincial Chairperson Panyaza Lesufi and Maile going head-to-head for the position of Chairperson. ANC Acting Secretary-General Paul Mashatile failed in his attempt for the two to not contest each other. Now, in the meantime, provincial leaders are pleading with national structures to not try and influence the outcome. And that's the issue, isn't it, Pule Letshwiti-Jones? Whenever we get to these provincial conferences, where do they fit within the framework of national? So is there an undue influence from national on provincial? Welcome to what's going to be a busy weekend for ANC politics.
Well, definitely, this is going to be a hotly contested provincial conference, Gareth. But you'd also remember that this is Johannesburg. This is a country's one of the country's most important cities, as it remains the economic hub. But at the very center of it, there is political play, and residents just want service delivery and a proper leadership that can administer them forward. But at the very same time, looking at track record, we've seen that the ANC has lost its grip of power in some of the key metros in the province, including the city of Tshwane, city of Joburg, and of course Ekurhuleni, which are being led by a coalition government, including the DA, Action SA, and other minority parties. And that's just the interesting part of it all. But what is happening here is that this provincial conference is also coupled by a lot of challenges as well. Just in the city of Tshwane, we do know that there are disgruntled ANC members in that region who are trying to take the leadership to court, saying that the regional conference was not properly coordinated, citing other reasons as to some branches that were expected to participate in the conference were not awarded that opportunity. That's issue number one. Number two, we also know that the West Rand couldn't reach threshold, which makes it quite tricky in terms of numbers for some of those leaders who would have been banking on branches coming from there. And then number three, we also know that there's also that issue of 19 quarantine votes in the Ekurhuleni region as well, which remains a problem. So yesterday, there was a special National Executive Committee meeting that sat, and one would expect that those are some of the key issues that would have been discussed, apart from other matters which are challenging the ANC at the moment. But we also do understand that just now at 8, the Provincial Executive Committee will be sitting to try and speak to and try to see how they can resolve some of these issues. But without any waste of time, that was just a bit of context to this. We are joined by one of the ANC members in Ekurhuleni who's going to be giving us an update on what is going on today, Mr. Given Muhlari. Thank you very much for joining us on eNCA. Now, I just spoke to my colleague Gareth here, or rather speaking to him right now, and I'm telling him that there's still challenges facing the ANC, particularly in the Ekurhuleni region, with the issue of 19 quarantine votes.
Yeah, good morning, Pule, and morning to all the viewers at home. Yes, we still have that problem of the 19 quarantine votes. So what happens now? Yesterday there was a meeting with the special NEC, of which we are just waiting now for the report. I think also the PEC that is sitting this morning will be also looking at that report that comes from the special NEC yesterday. Yeah.
And how could this now impact the outcome of the provincial conference as well? I mean, Tshwane, there's still that legal court battle going on to try and have that regional conference nullified. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, and this could actually impact the progression of the conference as well.
Look, what is important is that the branches themselves, they are participating in the process, and that's important. The only part that will be affected, or in a way, will be the REC or your RTT, wherever there is a RTT structure. So, but because of the branches, I think we are very much confident to say, let's go to this conference. Let's make it. We need to renew the ANC, and we don't have time to delay it more. Like you say in your intro, we are losing quite a number of grip in Gauteng, and it's important for us to defend Gauteng. Yeah.
And what does it seem like now? Because I know that the PEC will be sitting, which is the party's provincial leadership, in terms of discussing some of these issues. At the top of the agenda, what are some of these topics that will be discussed in terms of paving a way forward?
Look, we're looking forward to have a smooth a provincial conference, right. Unlike what we had with Ekurhuleni. Some of you saw it on the news, you know, and we're not looking forward to that. But so far, I was quite happy. Even at the registration, you have seen, if you have been there yourself, there were no chairs that were flying like in Ekurhuleni we had. So we are anticipating a good conference from the province. They've done a good job, yes.
At what time do we expect some of these delegates to be trickling in as well?
Most of the delegates are at the hotels where they're booked in. They are ready. I've been checking with the Ekurhuleni as well yesterday. They are at the hotel. So we're ready. We're ready for it. As soon as the PEC obviously is done, because remember the chairperson, who's the Premier David Makure at the moment, has to open the session. So as soon as that I think is ready, we'll be ready to go.
There's been some bit of concerns as well in terms of how National may have an influence in this conference as well. Some of the leaders from National. Is that something you guys are aware of and something you may be preventing? Because we also know that at the center of this is just, you know, divisions which are sowing within the party, especially in the region of Ekurhuleni, which seems to be really, really problematic.
Our interest is the ANC. We are not about the individual's interest and whatsoever. We are here, we see what's happening on the ground. We want to take the organization back to our people, and that's what is important. So whatever influence will they want to have or whatever, our main base interest is the ANC. So that's what we're going to do.
Thank you very much for joining us on eNCA. As given there, Gareth, just giving us an update on some of the agendas that are yet to be discussed by the provincial leadership in the province. What we do understand is that we are expecting just about 1,133 delegates, including regional executive committee members as well and delegates. But those who will be participating in this conference as well is a number of about 1,060. So it looks like it is going to be a very, very busy day. But some of those challenges still have to be resolved, such as the one in the city of Tshwane, which is the second largest region in the province. That court matter still has to be looked into. But as the day pays forward, hopefully we'll be getting some bit of feedback from the leadership as to what have they resolved and whether the conference will be successfully convened.
Yeah, one could say, what would it be if an ANC elective conference didn't have issues that they had to deal with and resolve before they got underway? Pule Letshwiti-Jones, thank you very much indeed. Going to be a busy weekend for him, and busy today as we'll go back there as we get ready for the Gauteng elective conference this weekend.